We introduce our next guest, and that is Mark Lentz. He is the Assistant Executive Director for KSHSAA, the Kansas State High School Activities Association. And for you, like you're down to those final few months. Like, what's it like, with that retirement coming up in July, Mark?
Yeah, it's kind of it's exciting in its own little way, but just trying to finish up things that need to be finished up here, over the next few months, and hopefully lead to a good transition of whoever is hired to come into this position. So, but excited for the next chapter.
I mean, they're actually going to let you retire. I didn't know they'd let you go.
Probably not so difficult, to be honest.
All right. Well, I got to ask the typical retirement question. Like, what are the plans afterwards? You got anything set, or are you just going to have fun?
No, I don't have anything set at this time. I'm still going to do something. I feel like that. I want to work, and I want to find out what else I can do out there, and whatever the next opportunity is. Plus, I've got some grandchildren. I want to see their activities and those type of things, so I don't want to miss that as well. So. And they're at that very active piece right now. So, see where it goes.
You arrived at KSHSAA back in 2011. So you're talking about 15 years. Like, what first excited you about the position when you arrived in 2011?
Yeah, the position that I started with at football, wrestling, and track. And those are three sports that I truly love and passionate about. And, felt that was a great opportunity. And, I didn't know, my background in athletics, and I learned a lot. I can't believe over 15 years here we are, but it's just been a great opportunity, to be honest with you, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. I don't know if I've accomplished all that needs to be accomplished, but there's always something to still do. But sure didn't make everybody happy, I'm pretty sure, but but I think that's part of the gig as well.
So, like, when you came in, I'm sure this changed, throughout your years there, but like, did you have goals in mind? Okay, like once you kind of got a feel for things and what you wanted to do and kind of the impact you wanted to make?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to always try to make things a little bit better. I think things can always be better. Whoever comes in is going to make things better. I think for the track part, which I gave up a few years ago, I think was in a good place, and it's something that I just didn't want to break, to be honest with you, because it's been going on so long. And football-wise, I think we've done a lot of things. We've kind of changed some of the formulas, a little bit about the playoffs, and we've changed a little bit about our state championships and where those are held and how those are held. And wrestling-wise, so many things have changed. Obviously, with the addition of the girls wrestling, that has really changed the whole outlook of wrestling and how it looks in the postseason. And that's something I think is always a good thing.
Out of those three sports that you overseen or, throughout your time, like was football and like maybe the playoff formats, was that one of the most, things that was analyzed the most amongst you guys and coaches across the state?
Yeah, probably so. Football is such a well-known sport, as they all are. It's also probably one of the most scrutinized sports in America. So, but anytime we can make some changes, and I'm not saying that they're all going to, stop where they're at. I think they got to continue to grow. And, we added 6-player back, and we're trying to give every community the opportunity to compete in the sport of football, which I think's huge. And it's great for communities, from the big ones to the small ones. So we'll see where it goes from here. And I think it's going to continue to go in a good direction.
That classification process, and I know you've helped out with that throughout the years. Of how is it a challenging process or a simple process? Hey, we get the enrollments, and we take the 32 teams. You guys go here. 32 teams. You guys go here. Like, what is that process like on your guys' side?
Yeah, over 15 years, things have changed digitally, so that's made it a little bit easier. But a lot of things done on paper prior to that. But it's agonizing, but. You got a lot to do, especially we do classifications on a September 20th count. We have to wait a certain amount of days to release those numbers. And that gives me a short period of time every 2 years to set football districts and those type of things. So it's a pretty quick turnaround, but you do the best you can and off the process and change it when it needs to be changed.
What goes into, selecting the districts, especially for the smaller classifications for football? Like, how do you determine, okay, these teams are clustered together, these teams are clustered together?
A lot of it's geographical, obviously. That's hence called regionals. But you take a look at that, but you also have got to take into consideration what leagues those schools are in, because you still want to maintain a league schedule for membership. So, when I put it all down on paper, I've got the leagues next to them, and we want to give the schools the best opportunity to fulfill their schedules and play as many league schools as they can play, but also to have a balance of who's going to go on and have an opportunity to play for a state championship.
Talking with Mark Lentz, the assistant executive director for KSHSAA, announcing his retirement earlier this year. That'll be coming up in July. For you, a guy from Fort Scott, started out as a coach in Missouri. Like, how tough was it to give up coaching for you and kind of lean more towards the administrative side?
That was difficult. Because when you go on the administration side, you somewhat lose some of that personal contact with kids. Anytime you can have an opportunity be around students and student athletes, especially, that does something to somebody, and you want to try to help somebody, shape somebody. And I was very fortunate as an athletic director in Paola, where I got to do some coaching as well. So that was big, and that allowed me to still be involved and have those relationships with those student athletes. Now I've been away from it, that part of it, for about 15 years. I serve on rules committees and those type of things. I probably know the rules better than I ever thought I'd know the rules. But do I miss that part of it? Absolutely. I love the sports. I love the kids and what they do, and kids are just getting better and better every year.
What was your style like on the sidelines? Like, what kind of coach were you like?
Oh, I'll tell you what. When I first started, probably not. I got angry a lot. Let's just put it that way. And I'm sure I took it out. I know I took it out on some of the kids. And as I got a little bit older and learned, and I had a very good lessons. One of the coaches said, "Hey, Mark, just remember this: the kids don't love it as much as you do." And that was a pretty good thing to try and remember. And I always try to use that and remember that today. But I think I got better as I got a little bit older and realized that, hey, you got to coach every kid a little bit differently. Your ultimate goal is the same, but everybody learns in a different way. So some kids you can yell a little bit and then pat them on the back. Some kids you don't really want to yell at. You want to encourage them constantly. But I think everybody's still trying to reach that common goal to get the best out of every kid.
Being able to work for KSHSAA for 15 years is amazing because, like, as much passion as you guys have for sports, and then you talking about an entire group across the state and even around the region that loves sports as well, and they love the high school athletics, and to be able to work for a company that's doing the best for those kids and those student athletes, like, how rewarding was that for you?
Yeah, it's extremely rewarding. I think it's also difficult. I mean, when I say difficult, because the decisions you make don't always make everybody happy, but you try to keep a balance the best you can from the western part of the state to the eastern part of the state, and you give everybody the same opportunities, and where they go from there, it's kind of up to them. But it's difficult, and you're going to make a lot of people angry to do the things that you do, but in turn, you're still doing what you think's best and what our board feels best and what our membership feels best, for the students in general.
Hey, Mark, appreciate the time, and congratulations on another great career.
Thank you, and I appreciate you for what you do as well. And anytime you can talk sports and build up the student athletes around the state, that's a positive.
Well, after that retirement, we'll have to have you on the show more often. You'll have more free time.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
That is Mark Lentz, Assistant Executive Director for KSHSAA. We'll have more of the show right after this.